So, uh, Zayn Alexandre, hi, how are you? Welcome to the yet untitled podcast, which you will find the title for.
I will.
We are in Montreal during Lebanon Cinema Days, and your film, Saint Rose, was screening yesterday here at Kawalis.
So,
And we are now having this conversation during another screening.
yeah, that explains
So
the music.
excuse the sounds. So I would like to know a bit about your origin story, if you want to call it.
Sure.
Okay.
I was born from the top, from the very beginning. I was born and raised in Lebanon. I grew up in Saida. I went to high school there, I went to school there, and then I went to UB. I was a psychology major. I wanted to pursue the arts, but my dad was vehemently against it. Nope. So, and understandably so. I mean, there's no frame of reference. We don't really have an industry. I don't come from a family of artists, etc. I didn't even know what that world was. So, there was a bit of hesitation all around, but deep down I knew I wanted to pursue the creative arts. And I was pre-med because my dad wanted me to be a surgeon. That wasn't working out, so I switched. I transferred majors to psychology because I felt like that was the closest thing to what I really might be interested in, because I was always observational by nature, and psychology is a science of observation. But I didn't tell anyone. They found out at the graduation. They said my name and my last name. My dad was like, "What? What am I paying for? What did he say?" So that was nice, and no. And then I got into a master's program at Columbia in psychology, and my dad was like, "Well, you're getting a PhD, right? Yeah, I just need a doctor before that name." Oh, sure, yeah, I'll do that. Don't worry. And that was the plan. I flew to New York. I started my master's degree, and something just wasn't clicking. You know what I mean? The world of academia, khalas, and it was time to. I wasn't really meant for that world. I appreciated the knowledge and everything, but something wasn't clicking. So, I went back to my dorm room and had that sort of existential. I wouldn't say a crisis. It was sort of questioning. I'm 20 years old. I want to do something that makes me happy. What do I like? What makes me feel alive? And I'm in New York City, and I'm surrounded by so much opportunity and so many resources. And I'm very far away from everybody that knows me, because that's the thing about growing up in Lebanon, in a very familiar place, is you start living to fulfill other people's expectations of you. You're not living for yourself. And so I called a bunch of acting studios, because I love acting, and I love the world of the make-believe, and I've always been very theatrical, and I love cinema. So I called an acting studio, and I said I'd like to take a class. I don't know what this is. I have never done acting in my life. And they said, please come and audit a class. And I did. And I looked at people on stage and what they were doing. And I said, I could do that. And that's when everything just started. And shortly after that, I signed with an agency. And I started auditioning. And auditions were very interesting. And this was 2012, 2013. And nobody was talking about diversity at the time. There was no such thing as inclusion writers. Nobody was talking about nuanced casting or anything like that. So I was showing up to auditions being asked to blow myself up, essentially, every time. It's like, okay, you're a terrorist, die. So it was one too many of those, and I became very frustrated with the state of the industry and how lazy it was. And that's when I decided to make my first film as a director. I wasn't planning on directing. I thought I was going to be an actor strictly for hire for like 10 years and learn on the job from other directors, shadow other directors, and then to sort of have the courage to take that leap. But I just did it. I went for it, and that's when my first film abroad sort of came to be.
What is that film about?
It is about a Lebanese couple, an immigrant couple, living in New York, struggling to find success in the American film television industry as Arab actors, but also as people living very far away from their familiar surrounding. And it's also about two people who grow apart with time, not knowing it. I think my biggest fear is to wake up one day and look at my significant other and they're on a different planet. And that was something that me and Pascal Seigneury, who wrote the film and was my dear friend and colleague, and we just wanted to talk about this human story with socio-political commentary on where we were in our careers and our shared experiences as actors in New York.
So the idea for that film, did it come from you or did it come from Pascal?
It came from the both of us. We wanted to tell this story, and then she started writing it, and we worked on the script, and it's like something that we both wanted to bring to life, and we're very proud of that film. It was a very modest film, and but it was it premiered at one of the biggest film festivals in North America, the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, and that was like my first ever festival experience, and they set the bar really high and that was because such a filmmaker focused environment. It didn't matter if you were a short filmmaker or a feature filmmaker or a top tier sort of celebrity. They make sure that everybody feels at home and everybody's taken care of and everybody's valued, and the rooms were full. It was a sold out crowd, two screenings, and I was on a high the whole time. The film, we made it because we wanted to do something. We were fed up and we were frustrated with the roles that were coming our way, so we wanted to give ourselves as actors as well very dense roles and highlight the nuance in the culture and what we were dealing with. So we didn't intend for it to end up sort of going the places it ended up going to. So I was very happy.
And how did that kind of pave the way for the second film you made? Or like, did that have anything to do with your second film? That experience with the festival, or that experience with like making a film and having it reach audiences?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't know what was going to happen after the first film, but we believed in it. We believed in what it was trying to say and how much heart it had. And we submitted it, and when we saw how much festivals were embracing it, and it also won the Khayrallah Prize in 2020, which is a very prestigious prize given every year to Lebanese expats contributing to Lebanese culture and the diaspora abroad, and to the community in arts and culture. So all of that sort of really positive feedback. We wanted to make another film, and we had a little bit more money, and I wanted to experiment stylistically, and now that I trusted myself, and okay, now I know how to tell a story, I have more confidence in myself, I can tell a story. Now let me experiment stylistically with how I want to present the future story. So me and Pascal got together again, and Manara came about, and that was a very tricky experience shooting it. We both have PTSD from that experience. But it was a big learning. Every film is such a big, intensive degree. So I really, honestly, learned lessons from every film, from every experience, were instrumental to my growth and evolution. That's the film, just me and Pascal wanting to come together and make another film, and trusting ourselves, trusting each other as in her capacity as a writer, and me as a director, as actors also, because we also acted in the second film. So yeah.
So your films have been to big festivals, like Venice and Santa Barbara and the Red Sea, like big international platforms. And your current film now screened at Lebanon Cinema Days, which is an intimate festival. It's like a small festival targeted at a specific community in a specific area,
Mhm.
the Lebanese community in Canada. Um, how does that experience differ to you? Like presenting a film for audiences that have probably nothing in common but their biology,
Mm.
and to audiences that have so much in common with each other, like the same background, the same culture, the same points
Yeah.
of view, more or less. Of course, not the same, just like similar.
I mean, I myself am learning about expats living in different parts of the world. I mean, we had the screening yesterday, and it was very beautiful. It was a very intimate screening, and the Q&A was really substantive and beautiful, and everybody had such insightful questions and comments about the film. And the parts that I feared the film was, this is about St. Rose, I feared were too nuanced or subtle. People really picked up on them. So this is a very cultured crowd. This is a very this is a crowd that has incredible artistic sensibilities, and so I was very, very happy to hear their feedback. Yeah, beautiful audience in Montreal.
Do you
Yeah.
think that a filmmaker should or can like outgrow such a small intimate screening?
I can only speak for myself. You know, we make films and we tell stories, and we hope to move one person. If one person is moved or was intrigued and by what we're trying to do, that's enough for me. Of course, the goal is to really reach as many people as possible and to move and affect change. And but I think I just the focus is on doing the work and evolving as an artist and as a human being, and then you can't control what the film does. Short films, you know, it's you pray to God that festivals, and you hope that festivals embrace the film so that you can have a platform to show the film and share it with people, because you've done a lot of work on. I mean, people don't really realize that short films are very tricky, and I mean, St. Rose spent 6 months in post-production. This isn't, you know, for me, I don't see films as shorts or features, or it's a story, and the story dictates what kind of medium, what kind of format it needs to be told. So I just do the work, and then I hope that it's embraced, and yeah, that's really it.
So you mentioned that. Okay, so like you said, of course, the goal is to have like as big of an audience as
Yeah.
possible to watch the film. How much of this idea do you think comes from the fact that cinema is an industry and it requires a big audience to make money,
Mm.
and how much of that is like the basic human instinct to connect, basically? Okay, at least to you. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it is a business, and and it's changing drastically every day. The goal was to make films and release them in the theater and share that experience with people collectively in the theater, because there's no experience like it. People are in the theater for 2 hours, if not more, and they're sharing this film together. There's no time to look at your phone or step outside. You're in this, and every bit of detail that you've paid very, meticulous attention to, from sound design, from this and that, you care about that, and you want to share it on the big screen, and you want to share it with people. And then all of a sudden we entered the age of streaming, and people are going to the theater less and less, and that was heightened when the pandemic hit. And then we had a big strike, and then less and less things are being made, and less and less films are being made. You know, we had these three kinds of tiers of films. You had what we call the lower budget indies, and you had the middle, sort of mid-tier films that are $10-12 million, or usually the rom-coms, and you had the big sort of blockbuster. We somehow we were lost on that spectrum. There are less and less films being made, so I don't know what the categories are today. And So it's become very corporate. I myself care about longevity, and there are plenty of films who didn't necessarily perform well opening weekend, but they developed a following because the films, because people connected to the films, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Not not immediate gratifications, longevity, number, people connecting to it, legacy, and that's what matters. And I think we are also our own publicists in a way, and we also have to have a say in how we market our films and when they're released and what the poster looks like, what the trailer looks like, how that film is promoted. I like to be involved in those different aspects. I'm going to fight for producing credit in every upcoming project I do because I like to have a say. And I come from a publicity background as well. I believe that getting the word out is very important in this day and age. People need to know about the work so that they can go see the work. And if the film is at a film festival, do your best to make sure that critics see it and it's written about and people are talking about it. But there are so many different elements that come or, sort of
contribute to this.
Absolutely, are factored into this equation that define what success is. But ultimately, yes, you want it to connect with people, but people have to be aware of it. So,
cool.
Yep. ما في عرق اليوم. Just water, just plain water.
So you said Saint Rose is a proof of concept for a feature. What do you want to accomplish?
Money.
With that film specifically?
What do I want to accomplish?
Of course, money is part of it.
No.
You can't make a film not expecting that you wanted to make money.
Well, no, I'm
for
not.
multiple reasons. At least to kind of, as you said earlier, to kind of prove that you are you can sell.
Well, we're not making any money from the short film. I mean, we don't make short films to monetize them. What we try to do is try to make a film, tell a story, then have people see that and believe in the work and believe in what we're trying to do in our vision, our storytelling, our style, and then give us money to make the future projects. And but with Saint Rose, again, I never sort of go into a project and we're in execution mode and I'm thinking beyond I'm trying to make this film, and then we'll see what happens. And then we send it to festivals, and if the festivals embrace it, great. We have a world premiere, and now what's next? And then it takes a life of its own, and I think the unpredictability factor of it is a beautiful thing. I think that's again why I love doing what I do, is because there is an unpredictability factor in the industry. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't know what doors will be opened or shut, and then what window you will be jumping out of. But with Saint Rose, I just wanted to put the culture I grew up in into question. It is a very broken system. It emboldens behavior that is unjustified. And a lot of women, I grew up in a very female-dominated household, and I saw firsthand that a lot of women in my family were not living to their full potential because it is what it is. It's just the way that the system is built. It's the way that it's structured, this very patriarchal system that we live in. And I just didn't like it. And I've observed so much over the years, and Saint Rose is a product of those observations. And it's a very subtle film in a way because it focuses so much on what's not being said. And so I want people to just reflect on the realities that we've lived and we are still living because of that system. So,
is it difficult as a male director to kind of tap into a female-led film?
I mean, I don't think I grew up in a female-dominated household. I'm observational by nature, and I've seen enough to be able to write these characters and give them justice. And So yeah, it's tricky, this question, as but I don't know. I'm myself, because I grew up in a certain kind of environment. I think writing these characters, and now with my upcoming feature, there's also a lot of female characters in that film. But it's just my observations over 36 years that stayed with me. So I didn't necessarily feel like I overstepped into some territory that I'm not qualified to step into. So, but ultimately, it's up to people to make that assessment.
You're also like you're an actor and a director, and you act in your own films. How do you approach that?
I mean, I didn't act in St. Rose, but my first two shorts, Abroad and Manara, I did. I mean, it wasn't abroad. We went
Like,
into
is it like an automatic decision? Like, I'm writing this character and I'm gonna be playing it, or is it like out of frustration? Like, you didn't find the right person. Fuck it, I'll play it.
I think there's a lot of stigma on directors who act in their films. For me, it doesn't come from this narcissistic tendency to want to be on camera, or to. I feel like if there's a character that I feel like I can do it justice, and I love acting, I want to do it. Sometimes I feel like I should have stepped away and just focused on the directing aspect, and that's for Manara. You know, had I if I went back in time, I think I would have maybe not, because it was a lot. That film was a lot. We were dealing with a heavy subject matter. I was acting the film, I was directing the film, I was also producing. It was too much. I think it was too ambitious on my part. And the way that I tend to cope with these situations is that I sort of diffuse the pressure in my hands. Like, oh, we were just like this one big happy family making a film, and then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, I have this big thing in front of me that it's growing, then that I need to sort of contain. I can't do everything, and I think also going back and watching playback as a director, watching yourself and everybody's standing by, you kind of have to sort of navigate that. But I think you learn to create the circumstances for yourself. You were telling me yesterday that you have one key person that you trust if you're acting in your film that can direct you or relay feedback that you feel like you need to hear. That stuff you learn along the way, and I think you just surrender yourself to everybody on set and vice versa. But will I do it again? Yeah.
I want to know more about the work dynamic that you have with Pascal.
Yeah.
Like,
We drive each other crazy.
I'm just interested in like getting to know that dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, how would you call it? Like, how would you describe it if you were to see it from an outsider's point of view?
Two crazy people. Neurotic. No, we met at a play in New York, and we connected right away because she's so funny and talented and humble, and I like to laugh, and I like people who make me laugh, and I like people who don't take themselves too seriously, but they take the work seriously, and I think that's what that's
a very fine line.
Yeah, that was a point of commonality between us, and so we hit it off right away, and we had all these shared frustrations about the business, and we wanted to collaborate, and but at the basis of it, there's a friendship, and then everything else comes after that. But no, we just have this. We just have a fun dynamic. You know, we trust each other's instincts. We believe in each other, and we've come to a point where if I have notes on the script that she's writing, or she has notes on the scripts that I'm writing, we're not offended or take things personally. We're just, okay, I trust you. I trust why you're saying what you're saying. So it's rare to find that sort of dynamic in today's world. I think it's a community, and people tend to forget that it's a community, and we all have to sort of collaborate together to create something so special, and we have to surrender to other people, and have to surrender to us, be it as actors, be it as an actor-director, writer-director, writer-actor. But I think today it's just very difficult to find people who, secure, I guess, in themselves to want to elevate and applaud other people's talent or skill or success. I think that social media has a lot to do with it, because everyone's chasing an aesthetic, everyone's chasing envy, no one's really living, and what we do requires authenticity, requires truth and heart, and I think something is lost today. But I'm very happy to have incredible people in my life I could trust with my work and with anything that I'm creating. So, yeah.
Do you feel like you prefer making films in Arabic or in English?
I don't really think about the...
Does the language matter?
No, no.
Like if you have a story that's set in Lebanon
Yeah.
with like Lebanese culture,
Yeah.
do you think making it in the English language, does that harm the story or does it help?
I mean,
Or does it matter?
No, if you're making a film set in Lebanon about the Lebanese culture, it has to be in Arabic, and it has to be in our language, and our language is integral to our identity, and you're making something so specific to what we do and to our culture. So that is a no-brainer. But I mean, if you're reading it in English, if you're reading the script in English, I mean, I would assume or expect that whatever it is you're trying to say is also conveyed, because deep down, our shared experiences, our emotions, our flaws, our strength, they're universal. So you would hope that the more specific culturally the film is, the more it will resonate universally. So
Even if the language is a barrier. Right?
it has to be motivated. Why are they speaking English? If the film is
Like let's say
Lebanese,
to,
why are they speaking English?
to reach a wider audience?
No. Well, it has to be motivated. If they don't know how to speak Arabic, okay, they can speak English. But I mean, we've seen a lot of things that are done internationally, and I'm watching some, like a Hollywood production about our culture, and you see a scene in the household between. I would say this happens more in television, that the actors in this are speaking in English, but they're from a different country, living in the U.S. Okay, maybe there's some way to justify it. They're living abroad. They're sort of, they speak maybe like this and on a daily basis, but I still question it sometimes. Like, it's but if it's not motivated, then I don't understand it.
So you're from Lebanon. Okay, and you're not like, you didn't move to New York when you were like 2 or 3 years old. So
Yeah.
there is like a big Lebanese part in you. How much of that is like a motivation, or like is it a barrier to a certain extent? Like, does that help you, or does it kind of drag you down in your career specifically? Like, do you think it does you good or it does you bad?
Being born and raised in Lebanon.
Yeah, like being of Lebanese descent, like being Lebanese, basically, not of Lebanese descent.
I mean, it's
Like specifically
it's
in the
home.
US, if you want to.
No, it's home.
Yeah.
It's who I am. I was born and raised. It's home. I speak the language. I'm that's a big part of who I am. So I would say I don't think about it that way. But the stories I like to tell are rooted in my childhood and me growing up there, and a lot of the memories and the observations and everything that I've seen and witnessed and experienced. It's a big part of who I am, and the storytelling and the films that I make. And I'm very happy that that's my life, and that was, it wasn't easy, because it was, again, between political instability and endless wars, and growing up in a country where you feel like you can't chase your dreams and there's no industry. It's not easy, and sometimes you wish things were different, and there were opportunities presented to you, or maybe I wish I was brought up in a household that was slightly more progressive, where I could be encouraged to pursue any artistic sensibilities I had, hopefully still have. But I just yeah, that's why I make these films, because I want to, the things that I wished were different, I shed light on them in the work. And yeah, so.
Cool. The final question.
Yes.
What do you want to call your episode?
Masterclass. I don't know. I shouldn't be the one answering this question. You're gonna edit this. You're gonna watch it. You're gonna give it a name.
It has to be your choice. Like, consider this an improv exercise.
I mean, I'm
Like
gonna
3,
just
2,
make
1.
jokes.
What are you calling your episode?
I'm gonna just make jokes.
I'm gonna
not
just
gonna
make
be
jokes.
serious.
Is that the episode?
No. That's it wouldn't make sense. I don't know. Wait, something untitled. Do we have to do this now?
Well,
Lazame.
Al-Azame. I think we're gonna go back to Al-Azame.
Child, ما سألتنا عن my favorite fruit as a child today.
It's kiwi.
It's kiwi.
But why kiwi? It's such a strange food for a child.
It's good. I guess I was a strange child. I like